When are we going to see robots?
Robots?
I want a robot.
Well,
Lutnick said I'd own a robot.
You want a
soon.
robot?
Yeah.
The robots are coming, Jesse. I promise you, the robots are coming. What we're seeing right now is some very interesting prototypes from a number of companies. If you've seen Optimus from Tesla, they can walk around, they can do things, they can fold laundry. I'd say within the next 5 years, it's possible that everybody could own a robot. I think this is a technology that's definitely coming.
All right, so if they're just going to make laundry easier, that's not enough. What else are they going to be able to do for me and my family besides laundry?
Well, they're going to be able to do a robot in theory, a humanoid robot in theory will be able to do anything that a human can physically do. And what will be, I think, really transformative about this, and we're getting into science fiction a little bit, Jesse, but not that far ahead. This is in the next 5 years. It'll be able to watch a YouTube video, and anything it sees a human doing in a YouTube video, it should be able to mimic. And if you let your personal robot follow you around, it could mimic your behavior, and you'll be able to teach it to do things. So, you know, in the not too distant future, you're going to be able to have
you're
robot
saying a
helpers.
robot
Yes.
could watch me for a few minutes and then do my job?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I don't know. We may have
What does that mean,
Well,
maybe? I'm replaceable by a robot,
well,
and when? When am I leaving Fox? I just got here.
I don't know. Yeah, Jesse, you're irreplaceable.
Thank
The
you.
robots won't be able to replace you, but you know, but just the physical tasks around the house that you don't like doing, taking out the trash, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, it'll definitely be able to do that stuff.
Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word, not sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, but as you can see in this video, you know, they're putting it out there in you people's faces, man. All right, these robots are coming to replace you people, and mainly in the, you know, the physical sectors of society. And like I said, pretty soon these robots will be able to do everything that you people do, which shows you that, you know, these elites, you know, this is part of their depopulation program. All right. They feel like a lot of you people are just basically useless eaters, wasters of space, you know. And hey, these you know, hey, these robots are here to replace you people, man, in everyday roles. And we can see it starting to take shape. Remember, these devils have their plans, you know. You know, by 2030, these robots are going to be basically doing the jobs that you everyday average people do. You're being literally phased out. And ultimately, you know, this is why these elites talk about universal basic incomes. This is why Klaus Schwab says you will own nothing and you people will be happy. All right, because they're putting you humans in a situation to where you're going to have to be fully and utterly dependent on the powers that be. And this is why all of this technology, all of this stuff is going to eventually lead to what? To the MOTB. In the future, if you're going to want to function in this man's society, if you want to be able to just exist, eventually you're going to have to take that MOTB. You will be forced in these 15-minute cities. You will be in a dystopian, cashless, you know, a society to where, you know, your very existence is going to be, is going to be total dependence on the system. And this is why you're going to have to bow down and worship Esau Edom and take his MOTB and take that micro C-hip in the future that this devil is creating. All right. And these robots are being, you know, ultimately used to phase you people out of the workforce. All right. Because in this new world order, you know, hey, you're only going to be able to work or have the jobs that they deem you to have. All right. You're no longer going to be you know, working in these restaurants, working in these grocery stores. Even right now, you can see a lot of jobs are being lost in particular warehouses and Amazon. They got robots right here where I live. My mom was telling me the other day that she was talking to some lady that worked in one of these Amazon warehouses, and they got robots in there picking orders and doing things. So what is that doing? They're getting these robots in place so that they don't have to, you know, pay you every average day people. You see, it's ultimately phasing you people out, and it's going to, you know, eventually your only dependence and your only way to survive will be to be completely dependent upon this technological digital beast system that this man is creating. All right. And people think it's cute. People, oh, I want a robot. You hear this guy. When am I going to be replaced, Jim? When am I? You are going to be replaced. because they're not going to need you anymore. Pretty soon in the future, if you're watching what this AI is capable of doing, I forget the name of it, but I was watching the brother's video, but he said basically they got this AI now to where you can just type in prompts into the AI and it'll literally create, the prompt or whatever that it's say, like, for instance, if you type in, show a man walking into a building and slipping and falling on a banana peel and whatever, you just type that into one of these AI servers, man, and it'll literally create like a Hollywood level a sequence of whatever you type into the fucking type into that chat GPT, and it'll literally create it for you. See, so even Hollywood is being phased out. You in the future, these news reporters are going to be phased out because what? They're just going to have AI, using AI to, to show you news clips, to give you reports, to make movies, to do every fucking thing. You people are literally, we're all being phased out. You see now they got these driverless truckers. Pretty soon the only job that you people are going to be able to have is going to be some very severe, brutal, labor jobs. But that's even if they want you to do that. You see? But this is all just leading to you people being ultimately phased out, man. You see? You people are no longer useful. Watch this. These elites are showing you what they're doing. Now, I don't have a lot of precepts for this. I'm just going to read one precept. But the point is, hey, we see where this thing is going. We see the world that Esau is trying to create, and it's a world to where the majority of you people, your services are no longer going to be needed. You see, and this is why, us, the hopeful elect, hey, our eyes are looking towards the kingdom, man. You see, I see this shit. Yeah, it is what it is. But ultimately, hey, my I don't have all my hopes and dreams and my future, invested in Babylon the Great. We know this place is going to be ultimately destroyed, but for the majority of the people out there who have no hope, especially our people who don't have no hope in the kingdom, they don't have no hope in Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. They look at this truth as something worthless, something because they can't tangibly, receive, the rewards of the kingdom here on this side. So Jake is like, man, what the hell that Bible gonna do for me? I gotta eat, I gotta feed my family, because ultimately their hope and their dreams, and they're fully invested that this society continues to go on the way that it is. But guess what? They don't know that the future that they're about to be presented with, that they're about to put their faith in, they're going to be a complete and total digital slave to a system that they're never going to be able to get themselves out of, man. You see? But we see where this thing is going. Look at this. It says, like it said here, also like it said here, right? Let me read this part again because this is very important. It says, the White House ARZAR says robots will start replacing humans in many roles. Now, listen to this article. It goes even deeper. It says AI CEO warns the technology will cause mass unemployment. You see, it's going to cause mass unemployment. You see, these robots are about to take over everyday jobs. You're not going to be working in these restaurants. You're not going to be fast food workers. You're not going to be working in the drive-through. All right. Even you're not going to be working in a lot of these white collar tech jobs. You see there. Watch. Let me read this, man. It says nearly half of all entry-level white-collar jobs may be lost in the next 5 years. And when they say 5 years, that's their end goal. We know they're going to start doing it. We see it happening now. Watch. It says, according to CEO of American AI research company Anthropic. Let's look up that word. What does Anthropic mean? It says, let's give a definition of the word. Anthropic is an American artificial intelligence startup company. It's a company, but what is the definition? No, I don't want to. I want to know what the definition is. Well, maybe it won't give it to me. Damn it. Well, we know it's a company, but I want to know what the definition is. If it'll pop up, let's see. Well, it won't give me that, but basically it's a company, all right? But I know Anthropic, it probably means something. Maybe I'll try to Anyways, it says, in a statement to Axios last week, Dario Amodei also said that policymakers and corporate leaders are not ready for it. It says a Modi, co-founder of Anthropic and a former OpenAI vice president, said he hopes to jolt the U.S. government and fellow developers into preparing for the consequences of rapid automation. And remember, this is where every sector of society is going to be automation, man, which is what, not needing people is going to be, ran by, they're going to start, shaping their businesses and all their companies in automation to where very few people are going to be needed. All right. A huge part of the workforce is going to be automated. It's going to be AI. You see that now with these call centers, man. Remember, that used to be a job back in the day. People used to work at these call centers and shit. People would call you from India. You notice the motherfuckers from India don't call you anymore like they used to. Because what? Those jobs are being phased out. Now they got AI to do it. Now they got computers taking over those jobs, man. Well, they don't have to pay you people to sit there all day making these phone calls, It says, you get to the point. It says he warned that AI could spike unemployment in the U.S. up to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years. You see, but that number is going to continuously go up as all these companies, tailor their companies to be, automated. Like I said, you got a lot of these truck companies. Some of these truck companies, they're going to start having AI driving those trucks. They're not going to need human truck drivers. Why? It'll be more efficient. They can run those fucking those driverless trucks 24 hours a day. They don't have to worry about taking breaks. They don't have to worry about the person getting sleepy, calling off. Of course, there might be accidents, but still, this is where things are headed. It says AI development companies are already working on systems that could soon replace workers in technology, finance, law, consulting, and other white-collar professions, particularly entry-level positions, Modi claims. So all these people going to these universities and these colleges to get these degrees, pretty soon it's going to be worthless. You're going to be phased out. They're not going to need you anymore. They're just going to get these, artificial intelligence and technology to do these jobs, man. And they're going to save costs. They're not going to have to pay you, cover your insurance costs, give you vacation and holidays and all that other bullshit. They're just not going to need you anymore. And it says what? Technology, finance, and law. They showed you that on that movie. With Matt Damon. What was that shit called? Elysium. Remember when he went to the police force was robots, man. Remember when he went to go see his parole officer, he had to go to court. It was a robot that was standing in the place of where a person usually would be. It's going to be like that in all sectors. In the future, you have to go to the DMV or whatever. It's not going to be people in there. You're not going to be talking to actual people. It's going to be all automated, It says the public and politicians are still unaware that a major shift is about to happen and insisted that companies and officials needed to stop sugarcoating what lies ahead, particularly for younger workers. You see? It says earlier this month, a report by the Linux Foundation commissioned by Meta found that open source AI is already transforming the economy by boosting efficiency, innovation, cost savings, and revenue gains. You see? And this is where they're not going to need you people anymore. All right. They're not going to have meetings on how we should get the company better. They're just going to ask AI and artificial intelligence. How can I produce this, and this? They're not going to need you people to come up with ideas to how we can, boost efficiency, innovation, and cost savings. Well, one huge way they're going to save on costs is by not hiring you people, by using this technology to, to run and to, run their companies for them. Like I said, and all the everyday people, you would just be phased out. This is why, you're going to need, UBIs, universal basic incomes, man. You're going to be a slave. You're going to be put into these 15-minute cities. You're going to eat the bugs. All right. You're going to be in a position to where they're going to tell you how much protein you're allowed to eat in a day, whether you can have meat this day, how much water you can have, how much electricity you're going to be able to use in a day based on, what they feel is, the daily requirements for each individual person. This is why you're going to need your CBDCs. You see? People need to wake the hell up, man. It says, however, Modi has expressed concern that people could continue to stay ignorant on the threat of AI. Stay ignorant of the threat of being replaced by AI, especially if the U.S. government chooses to stay silent on the issue out of fear of spooking workers or falling behind China. Soon, almost overnight, businesses leaders will see savings in replacing humans with AI and implement a change in mass. Yeah, because this is where it's going. This is why you're going to have the MOTB. This is why you're going to be begging for a CBDC, and ultimately you're going to take that mark of the beast. Like I was listening to the brothers in Dallas the other night on their Friday when I was out speaking. You had this Edomite guy who seemed to be well-to-do. He said he worked in the steel industry, but the main point, the brothers asked him, in the future, the way that things are going, would you take a microchip? And he basically said, yeah. He said, basically, this is where things is going. And basically, he was saying if it came to him to have to survive, he would take that MOTB, which that's going to be the sentiment. And that's the mind frame of a lot of these people out here, man. As the times are changing and they eventually bring in this system, hey, whatever they're going to offer you in order to survive, a lot of people will take it, man. Like I said, so when they start rolling out these, and Esau's going to make it sound real good. Oh, when these robots start taking over a lot of these jobs and people just get fired and people get laid off, when they start offering you a solution, which is what, a UBI, and, it's going to sound good. It's going to sound like, well, it'll help me for the moment. But eventually, it's going to lead to, to that MOTB, to that micro C-hip, man. It says, read that again. It says, soon, almost overnight, business leaders will see savings in replacing humans with AI and implement a change in mass. They will stop opening new jobs or backfiling existing ones and replace human workers with automated alternatives, Amodi claimed. You see? It says he has proposed several mitigation strategies, including a special index to track AI's impact across occupations and briefing for lawmakers to raise awareness. He also suggested a token tax, a system where a percentage of AI-generated revenue would be redistributed by the government, which they ain't going to do that shit because we ultimately know what they want to use this system for and why they're replacing these people just to make you complete and utter dependent slaves in this new digital system that they're creating. It says, Amodi's warning comes as a number of major companies have recently started laying off a considerable amount of workers, which some believe is being done in anticipation of major shifts due to AI. Duh. It says earlier this month, Microsoft fired 6,000 workers, mostly engineers, despite reporting strong sales and profits. Walmart has cut 1,500 corporate jobs to simplify operations, while CrowdStrike, a Texas-based cybersecurity company, has slashed 500 positions, citing a market and technology inflection point with AI reshaping industry. See? And that's why this guy said it in his video. Where are the robots, John? When the robots is coming? And this guy was trying to be kind of, coy. It was like, oh, well, because what, like the guy was saying, they're not telling you, straight up, look, you people are doomed. You're going to be replaced by robots on every fucking sector of life. It's going to be somewhat like a Wall-E world situation. When you watch that movie Wall-E, how technology had begotten so, people had begotten, they had got phased out and the people were so goddamn fat and worthless and lazy, that AI eventually ended up taking over everything. But we know, the real agenda is more nefarious and more wicked, but it's going to be what it's going to be. And we know it's going to lead to this. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, that charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see? And that's what part of people being phased out by all of these robots and these companies is going to eventually lead to. You being forced into a system to where, you're going to be, they're going to basically make you so dependent and so, make everybody poor, crash this system and bring in this new system to where, hey, if you want to buy or sell, if you want to even be acknowledged, man, if you want to function and be even, receive any of the so-called benefits of being in this society, it's going to eventually lead to this MOTB, man. And we can see you people are being phased out for that very purpose, man. To be made slaves, to be made dependent, to be phased out. You see, and this is why, hey, our focus is on looking past Babylon the Great, and we're looking towards the kingdom and the return of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who's going to save us and deliver us from this hell, from this captivity, and from this evil, wicked, disgusting system that this man is trying to, that he's planning on, forcing on you people. So, I just woke up and saw these few articles, thought I'd just do a quick lesson on this. So, hey, Lord willing, it was edifying. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying. To the next one, shalom.